Hi, I'm Colin Seale, founder and CEO of Think Law, and I'm really excited to be applying for the National Charter Schools 2017 conference. But before I talk about what we're planning on doing, I'd like to introduce you to a young man named Ramel. Ramel was one of the sharpest young men I met in my teaching career. He was an amazing problem solver who could see so many creative angles and have so many different perspectives of analyzing this issue he was facing. The challenge was that Ramel was not a student in my classroom, and his problem wasn't in math or science. Ramel was my client in my law school's juvenile justice clinic, and his problem was trying to figure out how to beat adult charges after he was arrested on a very serious drug bust just 1 month before his 18th birthday. You see, Ramel had critical thinking skills, like so many of our youth that are growing up in circumstances like Ramel did. But critical thinking actually requires so much more. You need the habits and the mindsets to actually apply these skills throughout life, career, and academics. Yet, when I listened to over 300 educators who know how important this is, I learned that critical thinking is still a luxury good. Only 1 of 10 educators teach it, and that educator usually teaches at an elite school or only teaches it to their most elite students. This means that the vast majority of kids like Ramel, and even students that are coming to school every single day eager to learn, are not getting this. But what if there was a way to change it so that all students were taught to think critically? Well, this made me think of law school, where I attended as a part-time student while teaching during the day. And in law school, you don't actually learn the law. You learn to think like a lawyer, which is critical thinking. Look at history. 25 past presidents, 35 founding fathers, Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, all attorneys, train extensively in critical thinking. How? Well, they learn to ask the right questions to get information, how to make a variety of claims and back up those claims with valid and relevant evidence. They learn the same exact skills, habits, and mindsets our students need. So shouldn't all students learn to think this way? Of course they should. And this is why we're proposing our session, Thinking Like a Lawyer, Tools for Engaging Critical Thinking Instruction. This interactive workshop is going to help educators close the critical thinking gap by translating the most engaging and rigorous aspects of legal education to the classroom and providing tangible instructional strategies that teachers can use immediately to teach critical thinking to all of their students. For instance, there's a case we all learn in law school about a 5-year-old boy who sees his aunt about to sit down in a chair, and right before she sits, he pulls out the chair, she falls, breaks her hip, and has $11,000 in medical injuries. Now, there's nothing so special about that case that can't be introduced in upper elementary school. Well, what's really special is when you take something like this that's so easy for kids to grasp, and you use it as a vehicle to look at things from different perspectives. Use it as a vehicle to ask these questions like, what do you think is really going on behind the scenes? So you're creating these habits and mindsets where students are now making inferences. We ask these public policy questions of, well, what would the world look like if it was okay to go around pulling out chairs on people to get seriously hurt, but there's nothing they could do to recover because the person that did it was only 5? And what we're doing at that point is taking something that actually gets to the rigor of an actual courtroom in this country and doing it in the context where kids don't even realize what's going on because they have such an inherent sense of fairness and justice. But that's just one aspect of this. Even if you're in kindergarten reading Goldilocks and the Three Bears, you can use the same sort of concept to think about what about Goldilocks' behavior and essentially putting her on trial for maybe she was a hungry minor that needed to find some food and shelter, or she was breaking and entering. No matter what it is, you're talking about things that kids really get excited about. And as a teacher, you get to practice being a facilitator and letting students do all of the heavy lifting. So we are thrilled to have this opportunity to apply for this, and we thank you so much for your consideration and the opportunity to help us create a world where critical thinking is no longer a luxury good. Thank you.